You scared? I'm hearing this in my head in Sandra Bullock's voice, and I can't remember what movie it's in. I think it's in one of her comedies. I know what it is. It is the one she dresses up like a beauty queen one. Oh my gosh, what is the name of that movie? I love that movie. I can't remember what it is, but I think some people know what I'm talking about. But Sandra Bullock is teasing a guy and saying, "You scared? You scared?" And so I can hear "you scared" in her voice. And it's a fun way to hear it because it's from a comedy and it's from a fun show. And so sometimes we all feel scared or apprehensive sometimes. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today is day 778 of sharing and documenting my journey from the offline brick and mortar world, the corporate world, to the online world. And I got to tell you, right now I am not scared, and I'm feeling super duper grateful that 778 days ago, actually longer than that because I didn't do videos right off the bat and I wasn't journaling and keeping track of what I was doing. I'm super grateful that I decided that I was going to explore and try to figure out how to do things online. And as much as I commiserate and feel sorry for myself because I haven't recreated my success offline, online yet, big yet there, I'm cool with it because as people are being really, really fearful, and you know, we all, based on our past experiences, have different levels of apprehension and fear with what's going on in our world right now, right? This whole coronavirus thing is tipping the world upside down in a lot of different ways. It's causing us to have social separation, which is new for most people, right? With social media, we've already gotten sort of socially separated. Even though we're more connected as a world on the internet, we're way less connected as a people. So people and humans have been tending to want to socially interact with people and go out and do more things in groups, right? Go to sporting events, go to music concerts, go to plays and parks and places where other people hang out. And for the next month or so, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be socially separating ourselves and distancing ourselves from other people, not only to protect ourselves, but to protect them as well, right? To make sure that each of us are doing what we can to eliminate the spread of this virus that's going around. Now, I just watched and started watching, I've got a couple episodes, yesterday I started watching a documentary on pandemics. Since we're in a pandemic, I thought, oh, if I'm going to have something playing in the background, it might as well be something I can learn about the world and what's going on in the world right now. And it gave me a lot of hope and a lot of, it really reduced my fear. And people might think, oh my God, you're watching something about pandemics, that's going to freak you out. But it didn't. It gave me confidence that we as a world, that we as a people can get through this and any other thing. I know I don't know anyone that has the coronavirus yet. I'm sure in the very near future I will know someone personally that is impacted by this. Praying that it's no one that I'm super close to, or I love and care about, right? That's what we're all hoping and praying for. But I had a very good friend that died of the swine flu here in my little town in Wisconsin, died of the swine flu, and we never would have thought that. So it's important to be smart and cautious and do what is right for us and our families, and do what we can to make the situation better for as many people as we possibly can. So I'm not afraid personally for myself, not at all, not one bit. I would be considered in the high risk category, right? I dropped dead of a sudden cardiac arrest a few years ago. I've had health challenges my entire life, and so and I'm 60. I just turned 60 last week, so I would be considered in that high risk category, right? And so, you know, people have been asking me, well, why aren't you afraid? And I'm like, number one, I am pretty socially separated as it is. I'm also legally blind. I always leave that out. I leave that one out. So my life pattern over the last couple of years since I stopped driving has really slowed down, and I don't interact with a ton of people anymore. I don't get out as much as I used to. I don't go to crowd things as much as I used to. I've stopped kind of going to big event things. I still go to a couple small events, but I've stopped going to the big gatherings. It's not that fun for me anymore. It's not that fun to go to plays anymore. It's not that fun to go to the opera. You know, if you can't see it, yeah, you can hear it, but it's not the same. It's not the same experience. So I've just kind of stopped doing those things. So part of that is I've already socially backed off and separated myself in the offline real world. And so I feel like there's less chance that I will interact or be affected by this particular virus or any other virus. Now, maybe I should backtrack and say I was super duper sick over Christmas. I actually missed Christmas this year because I had influenza something, right? I never was tested, so all the people bitching and moaning about not being tested and not having enough test kits, guys, that's political crap. I'm sure I had influenza A now, and I was never tested for that, and I did go to the doctor for it, and they basically said, well, you don't have a fever, so we're not going to test you for the flu. And over the next couple of days, every single person in my family that comes in contact with me, the limited number of people, got influenza A, were diagnosed, got tested for influenza A, and they all passed it on because I didn't know that's what I had and was sick. I ended up passing it on to my daughter and my son-in-law, and they took it down to Florida to his entire family who was down there for Christmas, and it went around in this big mess because I didn't know. So one of the things and the big lessons I learned from that is you might not know that you're sick, so do the right thing to begin with, right? Follow the guidelines, socially separate, and take this opportunity to spend some incredible time with your family and the people that you love and care about. Yep, you might be off work, you might be stressing about the economic impacts of it, but guess what? I guarantee that in a situation this big, there will be help for everyone that needs help following this pandemic, right? So if you have to be home with the kids, and most people are going to have to be, I know in Wisconsin where I live, schools are being shut down from Wednesday, which they're giving people a couple of days to get kids medications, get their schoolwork, get them some stuff to be doing at home while they're off school. But between now, well, Wednesday and April 6th, schools in Wisconsin are closed. I believe Minnesota's doing something similar. They're meeting today to decide exactly what they're going to do, but I believe they're going to be closed through the end of March for sure. And I suspect that they'll expand that a little longer, just like Wisconsin has. That means I get to hang out, and I am super excited about it, with my 4-year-old granddaughter every day, all day. And she won't be going to school. Now, she only went to school for 3 hours a day, so I got to hang out with her a lot anyway for this year. But I'm actually looking forward to it and excited. And she and I, this weekend, we're brainstorming things that we can do to keep busy every day. Because the last thing I'm going to do is park her in front of the television all day, right? But I think it's a big challenge for people because I think we're looking at spending more time together as families and with our kids than most of us have spent without running around to activities and doing things with them in a very, very long time. I know that if this were to have happened when my kids were at home, I would have been a little freaked out because I worked outside the home all the time in corporate America. I had a business on the side, and my kids were super duper active in all kinds of activities. So if all that were to shut down for 3 weeks, I guess I'd be like, okay, what are we going to do now? Now, instead of dreading it, I would be like, okay, what cool things can we create and do and learn and have, what experiences can we have together now that we would never and probably never will in the future have the opportunity to do and have, right? And this is assuming, of course, that you're separating yourself and taking care of yourself and that you're not going to get sick and that the whole family doesn't get sick, right? And the chances are, if you do the things that you need to do, you won't get sick, right? The majority of people in the country are not going to get the coronavirus, right? Especially if we follow safe practices and we take care of ourselves. I got off on a tangent. But my point is, how we approach the situation will determine how much fear we have. If we approach it as an opportunity to grow and expand, learn more things, get closer to one another, put systems and things in place and plans in place for our families and our lives that we hadn't put in place before, but maybe we kind of should have. I know that as I moved, I eliminated everything in my life. I eliminated a lot of the extra stuff, and that meant I emptied my pantry. I always had a pantry when the kids were younger that had food in it and water in it, so that if anything were to happen. I live in Wisconsin where we have blizzards. A lot of times you would get snowed in. I lived out in the country. We would get snowed in for a couple of days at a time where you couldn't get out and get to the store. So you better have a few things on hand. Well, I am as guilty as the next person of not having that set up in my new location. But I have enough stuff that I'm not going to starve to death. I'm not going to die. And even if I didn't have enough food to eat, I'd still be good as long as I have water, because I got a little extra, padding on from the winter. So there's always that. So how afraid are you? And if you're afraid, know that that's natural. That's a part of the process. That's a part of any change or anything new. The reason people are going to the stores and hoarding things and buying up all the toilet paper and all the hand sanitizer and all the everything, some of them are looking at gouging other people and taking opportunity, because there are people out there that suck, right? There are people out there that are jerks, and they want to, get themselves the advantage and take advantage of other people during this time. Guess what? Those people are showing us who they are. There are those businesses out there that will do that, and they're showing us who they are, right? This is not the time to try to hurt other human beings. This is the time to help other human beings. So do what you can with what you've got right now. Help as many people as you possibly can, especially those that you love and care about. Take care of yourself and take care of each other, and we will all be fine. We will all get through this. We've all gotten through similar situations. It just doesn't usually hit the United States at such a level that it causes, events and venues and things to shut down. I 100% support that, by the way. Are different things going to take huge economic hits? Yeah, but that's money that they didn't make, and they might have made, but they weren't guaranteed to make it, as we're learning, right? So do we need to make some changes in our contingency plans for our businesses and for how we structure things in case of scenarios and things like this? Absolutely. Most businesses should have things like that in place. Now, there's things like this that happen that we couldn't possibly plan 100% for, but that we should have some sort of a contingency plan for. I know there's areas where the virus is attacking more. Seattle, Washington, I believe the whole state of Washington just closed all of their restaurants and all of the businesses that people can remote. I love that we're such an interconnected and remote world right now. A lot of people can work remotely, but there's still jobs that people need to go to, right? And a lot of those jobs aren't big groups of people working together, right? I think of my son, he's a lineman, and he was thinking, I just don't even want to go back to work. And I'm like, dude, you need to, because he came home for the weekend to visit my daughter. And I'm like, buddy, you need to go back to work. You provide electrical to everybody. That's one thing we need. We need electrical, we need water. If people are at home and separated, they need those services even more, not less. So your job is super duper important. You need to go do that. Hospitals, medical workers, we need them to be out there working and taking care of the people that get sick. And things like that, but things that we can do remotely. What I do is I can do it 100% over Zoom. And I love that the Zoom, and here's an example of a company that is doing something awesome. That and Scholastic are two companies that I noticed this weekend. Scholastic is offering activities for families every day online for free that they can do to keep the kids entertained. And I'm going to be hitting that because that's something fun and educational for my granddaughter. Zoom is offering colleges and college students and teachers free access so that they can continue to see one another. And that's something I told my nephew. He was all upset that he's not going to be able to work with his small group. And I'm like, you guys can all hop on Zoom. If you can't get together because you're concerned about it, you can all hop on Zoom and still see each other. It's not exactly the same, but guess what? It is close enough. I do almost all of my coaching, my one-on-one coaching, and even small group coaching through Zoom and through Facebook video. There's so many tools. Skype has it. There's so many tools available, and even free tools, that we can still stay connected even though we're not connected. One of the coolest things I like is that people with iPhones and iTechnology from Apple, they all have FaceTime. We have video conferencing on Android, but they have FaceTime. So there's no reason that we can't continue to see each other and interact through this short period of time, and stay connected visually as well as just not physically, right? And I think that that's okay too. I don't even know why I got on that tangent. What else is going on? Day 7 today of the live challenge workshop, the top 20 countdown of the 20 biggest lessons that I have learned, actually the 20 first brainstorm lessons that I've learned over the last 47 years of businesses, and 25 of that being in some of the biggest corporations in America. Not even in America, in the world, actually. Some of the biggest companies in the world I've worked for. And I'm sharing the top 20 lessons that I've learned as a countdown to March 23rd, when I'm doing the Live Thrive Challenge. It's a Live Thrive, wrong name, Live Challenge Workshop, I've done the Live Thrive Challenge a couple of times before, but I'm doing the Live Challenge Workshop, a workshop that teaches people how to create their own challenges and how to get super fast results in their life of what they want in a 5-day challenge. And they've got a scavenger hunt and prizes and all kinds of cool things associated with that. So I did that. Today was about letting go, knocking ducks down and letting go strategies, dropping those ducks, which, you know, represent things that don't serve us anymore. Maybe beliefs, maybe mindset things, maybe people and places and things that we just don't need anymore, that aren't serving us, that are actually negatively impacting us instead of positively impacting us. For example, I am a saver. I don't even want to say I'm not, because I look around myself and I still have, you know, look at my background, right? Obviously I'm a clutterer and a saver. And as part of a big move I just made, I eliminated 90% of all of the physical things that exist in my life. I let go of 90% of those things. Now, I have 10% of those things still, but guess what? 10% of those things is still more than I need, and more than probably most people on the planet would need. So I have some more letting go to do, but 90% was a good start, right? And I find sometimes I need to chunk things down and to put them in perspective, do things a little bit at a time. That's how I work things out for myself. That's how I make continuous improvement in my life and in myself, by taking little incremental steps. If I were to say, all right, I need to just pick out and I can only keep the 2% of the things that really serve me and that I really use right now, that would be overwhelming, right? If you have to get rid of 98% of your stuff, okay, to be honest, 90% was stressful and overwhelming, but I still feel so much better and I still have a ton of stuff. So win-win, right? And win-win for the 90% of the stuff that I gave to charity and that other people are serving other people now in positive ways, right? So the weight of that is gone from me and benefiting other people. What else is going on? My granddaughter and I will probably share, if I can get her and if we want to, some of the activities that we're doing to overcome that family boredom. And I'm not sure how or where we'll do it. She's enamored with YouTube, so maybe we'll do some YouTube videos, a YouTube video every day through StreamYard, because I don't have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't pay any attention to YouTube. I probably should, but I don't. There's only so much that we can do and pay attention to, and that one has not hit my radar yet. So we'll probably do that. We'll probably over the next, maybe not starting today. I'm not going to commit to that yet. It'll depend whether I have her or not, if she's going to go to school at all this week or not. I don't know yet. Whether we'll start that today or not, but maybe we'll find a time every day. Maybe you could share in the comments below when would be a good time to share that. She's 4 going on 5. She'll be 5 in May. So that's the age range that I'm looking for activities to keep busy and keep growing and keep learning. I mean, she's not in school. She's not working on the alphabet and reading and circle time and social interaction time. So maybe I'll see if we can do Zoom calls with some of her little friends or something. That would be kind of fun. And they could all do some kind of a project together, that we could find things around the house that they could do. So, what time would that work? Anything I can help you with, any questions you have. If you have a question about preparing or getting ready, I'm like really good at contingency plans for all different businesses and all different industries, and things that you can do versus focusing on what you can do, not on what you can't do. And then getting creative around, okay, this is what we've always done. This is the new set of circumstances. What are some things that are possible now that weren't possible before this happened, right? Isn't that a good way to look at it? So I'm good at that. So if you need help with that, just hit me up. Just ask, right? Ask, because I'm here to help. And again, I'm available online, and I'm not looking to charge people. If you need some help, just ask the question, right? That's what I do most of the time anyway. All right, have an awesome day, and I will of course be with you tomorrow. I got a 4-year-old coming.